Hi guys, Lucy aka the Watchbox Diaries here. Welcome to my channel and welcome to 2025. Now this isn't my first fears that I've ever reviewed, it's not even my second, and it definitely will not be my last because if it's not been made clear, I'm kind of a fan of the brand. One of my favourite pieces from them was the Brunswick Aurora. If you haven't watched that video, after you're done with this, head over to that one. Apparently, mother of pearl dials in classic case shapings is how to get me. Now, one of the few problems that I had with it was a little bit too big. And I do feel like Fears might have heard me on that one because they went, watch this space. Now, as the name of the video might suggest, I've managed to get my hands on the Brunswick Orchid and let me tell you, I'm excited about it. Without further ado, let's get into the review. So starting off the specs with the main point that I will go into much further detail about a little bit later in this video, but is it a 38mm piece? Yay! It has a lug-to-lug of 42mm, approximately 11.5mm in thickness, and a lug width of 20mm. This is a steel case, mother of pearl dial, and uses the Joux-Perret D100 manual wind. This comes with 50 hours of power reserve, approximately, and is time only with that gorgeous little sub-seconds, and comes with 100 meters of water resistance. As I mentioned earlier, my one gripe really of the Aurora was the sizing, and the fact that they've reduced this and brought it out in the 38mm with a slightly different dial variation has made me so happy, so incredibly happy. It is such a good sizing for a modern dress watch of this style. And for me personally, it is the perfect size for that case shape. I've mentioned multiple times, I'm not the girliest of girly girls. The pink it and shrink it approach isn't normally my vibe, it's not my thing. However, there are a very small quantity of subtle pink exceptions to my rule. So anyone who has followed me on Instagram or has ever seen me at an event, chances are I'm probably wearing my Grand Seiko Cherry Blossom. This watch is giving me all of those vibes, those subtle tones, in the most perfect way. I'm a mother of pearl fan, so the textures that it gives off, the way that it plays with the light, and I love what Fears do with it. So they take two pieces of separate mother of pearl, one for the main dial and one for that sub-seconds dial as well. So you can see the slight layering of them. The previous Aurora that I reviewed, what they do is they paint the underside of it. So the Aurora was painted underneath in a blue, just to bring out the blue hues of the mother of pearl. So this uses the same process, but with a pink underneath. The Pink Cymbidium Orchid, to be exact, which also explains the name of the design. The colour is so perfectly subtle that it just gives a little boost and a little highlight of that iridescence of the mother of pearl, and it is just such a dream to look at. I've mentioned the quality of the Brunswicks and Fears watches in general really previously, and their level of finishing is just top notch. From the mother of pearl used, so the rarest oyster pearl shells, to the case polishing, to the bracelet, to the strap options, it all just feels really classy and high quality. Another thing that Fears do with excellence is their attention to detail. There are so many little design cues that they add to their watches to make it more Fears and to showcase how much thought and effort has gone into the designing of it without it being over the top. The little silver dot on the dial at 6 o'clock is simple but effective as a marker and just works perfectly with the raised numerals and that minute track. It's a perfectly legible watch, but also with a statement dial, and getting that balance right can be quite difficult. I think they've got it spot on. I'm a fan of the onion crown, and I think this one with the case sizing is very well proportioned. And then you have the little logo on the side, which is just a nice little touch of branding. We've kept the case back very simple in terms of wording, so that the focus is on the open case back. But they do offer a closed case back as well to include any engravings. So if you want to personalize it, the option is there as well. I do also always love to see that coloured rose detail, I think it's a rose, on the inner side of that clasp. It's such a beautiful branding choice, and the fact that it's hidden just makes it even better because it doesn't scream fears and additional interest until you open it up, and it's kind of just a really nice, pleasant surprise. My first gripe is definitely a personal preference. I'm just not the biggest fan of a fold-over clasp. I totally understand why it's there and why it's designed that way. It creates such a clean, quality aesthetic with hiding the edges, but the amount of times that I go to close the wrong side first just means I would have the clasp scratched to hell in a very short amount of time, and yeah, hence why it is a personal preference, because I realise that is very much on me. Not the biggest gripe, but I do wish the anti-reflective coating was both sides of the crystal. There is anti-reflective coating on it, but I do think that if it was double-sided, it would bring out the dial more. Sometimes that colour can look a little bit flat, which is insane considering the amount of texture and colour and how much that dial just completely plays with the light. So yeah, I do think if you just knocked that last bit of glare off, it would just add even more wow factor to that dial. Again, not a personal gripe, but I do feel like it may be a gripe to some people, and that is the price. So these come in at £3,650 on the strap and £3,850 on the bracelet. It is a very well made watch. It is high quality, it's well designed, it is a gorgeous eye-catching statement piece. But there are some people out there that will see this as on the higher side pricing wise. When I tell you I fell in love with this watch when I put it on my wrist, trust me, I fell in love with this watch. Now, I can't compare them directly because they are different watches, but if I didn't have my Grand Seiko Cherry Blossom and I was looking for something that is slightly more quirky, but with a beautiful, subtle pink dial, this would be top of the list. It is such a pleasure to look at. It fits on the wrist so beautifully, and honestly, I couldn't stop staring at it, and that is what you want when you buy a watch with a statement dial. This may be a smaller sizing, it may be pink, it may be mother of pearl, but I genuinely believe this can be a unisex watch. I've worn it, so my wrist is 6.2 inches. My other half also very kindly wrist modelled for me, but he also fell in love with it because of the tone of it and the texture, and then everything built into it. It's such a classy, classic looking piece. And the Fears motto of understated elegance 1000% applies to this piece. Lastly, I do always appreciate that although the aesthetics are slightly more on the dress watch side of things, this comes with 100 meters of water resistance. So with the different strap options, interchangeable, quick release, you can pretty much take this everywhere and have a gorgeous quality statement dial piece with you wherever you go. That is it. That is my Fears Orchid review done. Thank you very much to the guys at Fears for letting me get hands-on with this piece. It was a struggle to have to give this back. It hurt. I fell in love with it so much. Let me know what you guys think of Fears, what you think of the Brunswick case design. What do you think of this watch, the sizing, the dial? Would you wear this watch? It is pink, it is mother of pearl. But as I mentioned earlier, I think it's unisex. Let me know your thoughts on it all in the comment section below. If you enjoy my horological ramblings and you want to support me and my channel, you gotta do the YouTubey things. Make sure you've given it a like, you have commented, and you are subscribed to the channel. And if you want to be notified of my upcoming videos, all you gotta do is click the little bell and YouTube will do its thing. Until next time though, bye.